Right, let's make a start. So let's review this Breguet Type 20 hands-on gold and blue ceramic watch. Ariel, you got the hands-on with this. Tell us a little bit about it.
So not too long ago, Breguet relaunched the Type 20. They had the Type 20, then the Type 21, the Type 22, and they just reset back to the Type 20. David covered the launch pieces, and they debuted this new family of movements, which is pretty nice. Performs more or less like its Blancpain cousin, but isn't the Blancpain cousin, as far as they tell us. Just a really good, robust 5 hertz chronograph automatic movement with silicon in there. Now they've made the collection better by making the dials three-dimensional again. For the first time, adding ceramic, which to them is a big deal, in the for the bezel insert. It's a very handsome looking watch. Comes out in this style in rose gold with blue. It's quite expensive. I suspect that titanium will come in the future. It's definitely an improvement on some of the controversial elements that were part of the some of the debut Type 20s. Again, still an expensive watch. Not perfect, but definitely a nice timepiece.
Good, good. Right, let's very quickly give it a hit, a miss, or a maybe. One, two, three, go. Maybe, miss. Hits. Right. Ripley starters off. Why is it a maybe?
Um, it's just okay. I mean, I don't know if anyone was actually asking them to make this watch. And I like the steel ones have a following. This is probably quite a lot more expensive. It, you know, I think it's better than some of the other ones they've done, but it's very expensive for what is ultimately like just a sporty chronograph, where if you're looking for this type of look, you can get it from a wide variety of other brands for less money, and not in solid gold, even from the same brand itself. So it's okay for me. How much is this one?
38,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
Not
that's a
cheap.
lot of money. That's a lot of money for a gold watch on the leather strap. But it's just okay. You know what I mean? Like it's not a bad looking watch. It's probably got a pretty good movement in there, but I don't. This wouldn't be the one I would get, and at that price point too. There's a lot of other stuff on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I give it a maybe. It's just not doing it for me. The other Type 20s are really. Something's just not sitting right with this. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think maybe hands on would would help me understand the problem I have with it. I'm not as sure. Ariel, you gave it a hit, however, so no problem from you.
Honestly, I think any of us would be more than happy to wear this. It's got kind of that what we call a baller watch vibe, which is just basically a big conservative looking sporty watch in a precious metal. It's easy to get away with. It's just a nice, handsome, bulky gold timepiece with a pretty reliable movement. So it'd be hard to say no to it. Yeah, to pay for it, okay. There's a lot, less expensive tool watches out there. But this is sort of the same situation as the guy that wears like the solid gold Submariner. Like you definitely don't need to wear it in gold at all, but it's kind of like a screw you world to wear it. So this is a screw you world watch.
David, you gave it a miss. You feeling screwed over by Breguet?
Yeah, big time. I think Breguet is screwed over in some ways. I like Breguet very much. It's one of my favorite brands, but not for its present, but more for its potential still. I think this is a very industrial looking answer to something like, oh, what should we do? And let's make this. It's this watch looks like as it came from 10 or 15 years ago. It's
Yeah.
bloated. You could easily shave off 2 or 3 millimeters off it. There's absolutely no need for it to be this large. It's also a mess in the sense that like the dial is missing a 6, but the bezel has a 6, but it's missing a 12. And but if you look at all the numbers and the mishmash of the whole thing and the functionality, or like there are nothing on here really makes any sense, not from a functional or a proportional or a proportion perspective. It's just a mess. The whole watch is, it doesn't make any sense to me. However I look at it, it just
This is
it's
like their
it's really bad.
gold Hublot Big Bangs. That's basically what this is. Breguet now has a gold Big Bang.
Yeah.
I know.
That's what they've
Meanwhile,
done
probably
basically.
it's like spinning in his grave like this, probably. Like, Because I wouldn't mind if this was theirs, but they are 20 years late to the Big Bang Party. 20,
Mm.
So
Come
I'm
on,
just not sure.
Breitling's barely in that market anymore. No, they have all those gold watches.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not against gold watches, and I like the applied logo on the dial. That's the only thing that is really catching my eye here.
It's like a
Applied dial
$30,000
logo.
logo.
I like the logo. Send me the logo.
Mr. Bank, how did you vote and why?
I went for maybe. It's kind of echo a lot of the sentiments that people said. I kind of, when I think of, and maybe this is a miss of me, when I think of Breguet, I'm kind of more drawn to their classic pieces. And you're right, this just looks like a watch in my mind that's maybe a bit outdated rather than a classic piece. Maybe it's in a limbo state where we'll look back on it in a few decades' time and admire it. It's not doing it for me, but it's personal taste, isn't it? Maybe it's simply just because of the size of it and the actual proportions, and me with my dinky little wrists would never be able to pull it off.
Yeah, Breguet's chat yesterday's inspiration for today's design. Kevin, yes or no?
I totally agree with that statement.
I concord with that. So you give it a hit, did you?
I did indeed. I mean, for once they've used a ceramic bezel. I mean, I was surprised when I read that. I thought they're using ceramic for a long, long time, but they've just joined the 20th century using ceramic bezels. Even so, I love it. I really do love it. It is a baller watch with Ariel. I do agree with Ariel. It's a guy who says, I don't care. Just don't care. I want that watch. It's gold. The only downside, it's over 14 mil thick. And I'm sure they could. That is a statement piece. But the design, the needle hands, the applied logo, the applied numerals, even though it's missing a 6, I love it. I really do love it. I wouldn't buy it for myself. I would wait until somebody else buys it and walks out the shop, and then give it 6 months. It'll be on Chrono 24 for 30% off or 50% off. Yeah,
I thought you were just about to. I thought you were just about to get on a moped there for a minute, Kevin.
God no, my balaclava and
wait
my,
until it comes out the
underdog
shop.
hat. Yeah.
Do you think anybody's really stocking the Breguet boutique? Probably not. Probably not.
You might be waiting outside for a while before you found a viable.
Right.
I've been waiting for this watch for 20 years, and now it's here.
Your moped has seized up by the time somebody's actually come out the shop with one. I'm interested in this guy. You're the strap guy here. They describe the strap as a NATO strap. Now, I thought there was a guy going around the internet suing people for calling things NATO straps. So can we expect a lawsuit against Breguet at some point?
I don't know. I have got a bit of a crazy opinion on this. One, I need to come back to the date and the 4 and the 5, and you get a bit of the 4 and a bit of the 5 and the dial. But my main thing, not that you've asked, I'm wearing our Lycomania watch today, which is named after the Lamania brand, which Breguet owns, which is an amazing brand with a load of history, which is exactly this style of watch. And if you're Breguet, and I've written to Breguet about this, and I tried to do it with them, but they need to revive the Lamania brand. Do this is the style of watch they should do under that brand at a much cheaper price, and then it fits, and then, your Breguet is what Breguet would have wanted.
You want to work for the Hayeks?
No, I actually wanted to get the brand off them. I wanted to get the brand off them and relaunch it, because the Mania brand is so incredible.
Yeah.
With such a good history.
They'd force you to buy the movements for them.
They probably should, because, Lamania then became, the history is incredible, where it actually became the movement manufacturer in-house for Breguet. And, it's the Lamania movement is the Speedmaster that went to the moon. That's it's incredible, everything that is in that brand that is being ignored. But also, Rick has just zoomed in on that date, and I have no issue like him with the 4:30 date. But when the 4's coming up,
by the way, that's not just any date; that's a Swiss-made date. Okay.
I was just going to say. So,
cool.
I encourage everyone to go and look at the YouTube channel, A Blog to Watch Weekly Live, and have a view.
It's like
of...
there's a pull of gravity pulling everything towards the 430 point, and they were like, we're just going to put everything there,
including the 5 in the dial, which is significantly larger than the 2 in the dial. And yet, somebody
Shocking.
looked at this and thought, you know what would be funky? You know what would make us distinguish us from everyone else? We'll put this Swiss made by the date window, not at the bottom at 6. We'll shunt it to the window.
Shockingly
and put it there.
bad.
Quirky. It's just quirky.
It's like the designer had a tick and his arms kept going to the right. Everything's going to go there.
And it's so funny because the entire watch is like tilted to the ground. Basically, everything is just large. That gravity point is so spot on. It's hilarious. It's so true.
Interestingly, except for the 3 that's beside the crown, which is resisting the drag, and who the bottom of the 3 there, I'm not quite sure how. I've actually lost count of how many fonts are on this watch. I think there might be 7. I think there might be 7 different fonts in use on this watch. Richard will probably give us a more accurate description. But there we go. There we have it.
Oh my God.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Breguet. Thank you for that.
Thank you for entertaining us.